I have successfully, supposedly, pre-ordered my Nintendo Switch 2 on my fourth option for doing so. I think it was my fourth. I don't know. That was quite the experience trying to get the Nintendo Switch 2 pre-order. I decided to step away from the Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion remake for just a few minutes to attempt to pre-order this console. Welcome back to the channel. This is Step of the Nomad. You're watching Nomad Games. Thank you for being here. If you are one of the many new people that have joined the channel and the community, welcome. This is great. I'm really excited to grow this community and talk about Nintendo, video games, and everything in that sphere. They recently announced that they put up the pre-orders again in the United States on, well, today, April 24th. I'm on the East Coast. I waited till midnight and I thought I had everything prepared. I had a couple different accounts for a couple different websites loaded and ready to go. And then about a couple minutes before, the websites just couldn't handle it. Now, why do I say I supposedly pre-ordered my Nintendo Switch? Well, I ultimately ended up getting it at Target. I pre-ordered the Switch and Mario Kart Bundle at Target. That was the one that I wanted with the Mario Kart Bundle. Technically get $30 off the game. Might as well. I wanted to get it anyways. So that's what I did. And I've been hearing reports from people all over the internet saying that especially the site that I pre-ordered it from, Target, has been sending out cancellation emails. Now, at the time of this recording, I have checked my emails. I have only received the confirmation email. It was late, but I have only received the your order has been confirmed email. No cancellation as of yet. So we will see what happens in the future. Who knows? But yeah, a lot to talk about with this one. And just how, I don't even know if I can say Nintendo or just all these different websites have handled this. Okay, so let's just go back to the beginning. What I had done to prepare was get set up on Walmart, Target, GameStop, and Best Buy. I had to make accounts for a few of them because I didn't have accounts prior. I thought that I was just going to get everything ready, and we're going to be good to go right as midnight hits. Well, a lot of things happened, including entire websites just not working. Target, first of all, I'm going to go over what happened with Target and how I actually ultimately got it. So for Best Buy, it wasn't until 30 minutes later, for me at least, that the coming soon button switched to pre-order. So it was like 12:30 when it was supposed to switch over at midnight. And I just don't think these websites could handle the amount of traffic that they were getting. So I had that one refreshing in the background just in case, because I was trying for Walmart, but it kept doing this thing. And you can let me know in the comments if you had this experience too. It kept doing this thing where I couldn't even log into Walmart. It kept asking me if I was a robot or not. And you have to click and press the button for like 10 seconds. And then once you do it, it keeps asking you over and over. So Walmart just wouldn't even let me in. And then GameStop, after making the account and everything or re-signing in, I realized like, oh, didn't they say they're not even doing anything until like 11 a.m. on the 24th? So it wasn't even going to be until like 11 hours later that you could go to the store or whatever. Maybe it was different on the website, but regardless, nothing was working. So for Target, I was like, okay, I'll just do this at Target. This seems to be the only one that's working. And by the time I was switching back and forth between all these sites, Target entirely stopped working. I couldn't even click on the website without it giving me a gray screen saying something went wrong, error code, hit reload, try again. So I was just bouncing back and forth between all these different websites, and then the app's working, the website's not working, this is working, this isn't working, blah, blah, blah. I'm getting this code, I'm getting this. So it was like, I felt like I was like locked in for like some sort of tournament or something. It was wild. But I ended up getting Target to work, to load again, while I was still shifting back and forth between all these other websites. So I put the shipping address and the billing address in and all this, and I was going through the information that's needed to proceed to the checkout because I had it in my cart. The Nintendo Switch 2 Mario Kart bundle was in my cart. So I had to put in the payment information in again and again and again and again, and it wasn't working, and then it would crash the site again, and then I would have to reload it, and it would crash the site again, and I'd have to reload it, and then I finally got one step at a time to just work over doing this over and over and over and over. And do you see the pattern? These websites were not ready for this launch. So the price of the Nintendo Switch 2 doesn't even matter because everyone and their mother was going for it. And it was unbelievable. Then here's what happens next. I finally get the payment information to work. I get to the point. The button's red. Pre-order now. It's red. I click on it. Nothing happens. It loads. I refresh the page. I click on it again. It loads fully. But instead of saying there was an error on the whole screen, I get this little thing at the top of the Target website saying like, oh, there was an error. Like you got to look to even find it. And it just keeps showing the red button, the pre-order now button. So I keep clicking it. And then I'm like, oh crap, did I just accidentally buy it like 10 times? And luckily, I think Target would stop you. I don't even think Nintendo was allowing anything like that to happen to kind of combat scalpers. But I was checking my bank. I was refreshing my bank to make sure I didn't see the payment go through. And then finally, after like maybe 25 minutes, I clicked the button. It went through. I got the order confirmation. And then I was like, I haven't received a confirmation email. I got the order confirmation on the website. I haven't received the email. So I'm refreshing my email. And it must have been like maybe 20 minutes later or something before I even got the email confirming. And then I felt a little more calm about it. I was like, okay, I checked all these websites. They were all having hilarious issues in their own way, just like just completely unprepared for this event. And I've never pre-ordered a console on a website like this. In fact, I've never even pre-ordered a console. I've always just gone to the midnight launch events and was lucky enough and fortunate enough to get one. So this was a completely new experience. I've never done this before. I never even expected this to happen. I don't know if this is what this is like, but it was an experience. And you guys are going to have to let me know your experience as well. But the one thing that happened after the fact was I refreshed Best Buy and then the bundles were popping up. And by the way, I was checking both. I was checking just the Switch 2 and the Switch 2 with Mario Kart bundle. In the meantime, in the interim of waiting for my confirmation email and then having a little panic attack because everyone was saying they were getting cancellation emails, I was like, oh no. I just decided, you know what? I'm just going to check to see some of the accessories. I want to check to see the camera. Maybe I'll get the camera and just kind of see what everything else is. And maybe I'll pre-order a few games. Now, I have never pre-ordered a game either. So I was like, you know what? Maybe I'll do this. Maybe I won't. I clicked on Donkey Kong Bonanza. I already had Mario Kart with the bundle, obviously. And then I was like, I forget the release date for Metroid. Is that coming out at launch? I don't think so. I think it's just sometime later in the year. And I was like, are there even like really any like launch games? And then I checked to see if like the Legend of Zelda games with their Switch 2 editions were up on the website, and I couldn't find them. But then I just remembered, like, I've never had an issue purchasing a game. I've always gone to either midnight releases or sloppily strolled in the afternoon afterwards and picked one up. So I've never really had too much of an issue with that. So I didn't pre-order any games. I didn't pre-order any accessories. I was already flustered enough and figured, you know what, I'm just going to get the console and just sit here and patiently wait for my cancellation email or my confirmation email. I ended up getting the confirmation email, so that's good. So I have supposedly pre-ordered the Nintendo Switch 2. This is an experience that I hope is a lot smoother for upcoming Nintendo console releases. This was so frustrating. I'm laughing in light of it now, but I'm still a little bit upset about this experience overall. It took so much stress. I should not feel like I'm about ready to like compete in a marathon with like everything I own on the line just to get a Nintendo console. And yeah, I mean, this really speaks to the fact that like it doesn't really matter what the price is, people still went out and got it. Obviously, I was going to get it. I told you guys that before. I think $450 for the console is ugh. It's like but it's like also reasonable because this is, when we get our hands on it, I think we're going to be pretty impressed with how the specs are and how the console feels and everything like that. It's just speculating, but from what I know about tech and everything like that, I'm pretty confident the system's going to be pretty nice. So the $450, it's just close enough to the border of like what I'm willing to pay, but still sort of reasonable. It's more the games that are bothering me and the accessories and everything else going on. So I was just like flustered in general with this experience, and I really hope that they find a way to fix this for people. And I hope that people that didn't put themselves through all this bull crap and maybe wanted to wait a few weeks before getting it, or maybe just want to stroll in on the day of the launch to see if they can get it. I hope they can get it and have a much better experience. But Nintendo, if you are watching, and you are almost guaranteed to not be watching this because I am a new channel and I'm just starting to pick up on views, figure this stuff out. If you're watching this, Walmart and Best Buy and GameStop and Target, figure your stuff out. I know servers can get stressed, but this is nothing you couldn't have fixed ahead of time. I don't know. I'm not an engineer. Maybe I'm wrong. I would love to hear your guys' thoughts in the comment section down below. Did you get the console? If so, did you just buy the console or did you buy the bundle? Did you buy accessories? Were you trying to but not able to? Did you get a cancellation email or did you get a confirmation email? And are you still nervous that you might get a cancellation email? I don't know. We'll have to see. But I would love to hear your thoughts on this down below. Let's keep it civil as always, and I will talk to you guys in the next one. John A.